All right, hello everyone, and welcome to our first Charlotte LifeWave phototherapy patch live event. This is really wonderful. And just give folks a little chance to get settled in. We're on perfect time. So we're going to start a film, a very short 3-minute film on phototherapy, in case you don't know what phototherapy is. And it's all about healing our bodies using light. And we all know that light is the source of life. And not just, with the sun, but also with our bodies. So we're just gonna, we got a couple folks that are just getting patched and registered, and they're on their way in, and then we're gonna start the film. So did everybody get a chance to get an X39 patch as you walked in the door? And just so you know, we have water in the back. We want to make sure that you all are really hydrated. And we have the bathrooms are right out in the reception area, the men's room on the right and the women's room on the left. And then we also have some information on our tables. So when you take a break, we invite you to come and check out some of the information that we have out for you, some interesting photos. And later, we are going to invite anybody who is experiencing any kind of physical pain in your bodies, that we have a pain relief station, and we have a pain relief patch that we're going to talk about called LifeWave. So you're invited when we take a break or at the end of the event to join Rosedale in the back. Raise your hand, Rosedale. She's going to be patching you with LifeWave and giving you some pain relief. Okay, so is everybody in? We're waiting for one more person to come in, and then we're going to get started on the phototherapy, the video. Oh yeah, by the way, we are live streaming. So we're not only sitting here live, but we're also joined by all of our friends, our audience, our family members, and all the people we invited that's on Zoom. So we've got a virtual community here. And so we're really happy to bring this LifeWave technology to all of you. It's really life-changing technology. We have some wonderful testimonials to share. We're going to share how this technology works, some of the science behind it, and of course, the experience of it is really, really what it's all about. So I'm so excited that all of you had a chance to really wear the X39 patch. And so just sit back and get comfortable. As I said, make sure you stay hydrated on these patches, and make sure that you are nice and comfortable. And we're going to get going. So let's open up with, by the way, sorry, my name is Leumeria Kumara, and I am your host, and along with my partners, Dolores Figures and Rosedale Jones and Jennifer Dublé. So we are all, here to really support you and share this technology with you. So let's start off with the video of phototherapy.
Light, an ancient form of energy that goes back to the dawn of time. For us, it all begins with the sun, the source of light and life for our entire solar system. Even Einstein concluded that everything we're made of contains light. All life originates with the sun through photosynthesis. Plants and vegetation collect the light, and all living creatures emit light. Humans actually emit infrared light, which can be seen with night vision devices. We've known for centuries that light has many effects on the body. LifeWave's phototherapy patches use light to stimulate the body's natural healing systems, providing specific health benefits. Here's how the technology works. First, a patch is applied to specific points on the body. Where the patch covers the skin, infrared light emitted from the body is reflected back into the tissue. This stimulates the skin, which in turn stimulates specific regions of the brain. The brain then taps into the body's own natural flow of energy and the ability to heal itself. Let's take a look at why this is important on a cellular level. For example, a number of our patch products help counteract free radicals, oxygen molecules that damage cell proteins and contribute to visible signs of aging. When the body is stimulated through phototherapy to release its own antioxidants, these free radicals are neutralized naturally. LifeWave phototherapy patches promote an environment that enables the body to optimize its restorative powers and provide specific health benefits, all without the use of harmful drugs or chemicals, all helping you to stay healthy and young. To find out more, contact your distributor or visit lifewave.com. LifeWave. Live long, live well.
So let's talk about this technology. So we have a nice PowerPoint that we want to share with you. And this, I don't know how many of you know about what stem cells are. And stem cells is what this technology is all about, how to activate the body's own healing, natural healing system. This is an affordable stem cell technology that enables your body to naturally elevate its own stem cell production. So let's talk about what stem cells are. Stem cells are, and you could go to the next slide, Michael. Stem cells are the body's healing and regenerative system. And they are considered the universal cells, the cells that can go anywhere and become any kind of a cell in the body. You know, we are cellular beings, right? In these physical bodies that we have, but we're also in energy bodies, and because the cells are made up of energy and light. So all of the cells in our bodies started off as a stem cell. Every single one of the 300 trillion cells that we have in our bodies started off as a stem cell. So every cell originates as a stem cell. And then it becomes a brain cell, a heart cell, a liver cell, you know, any kind of an organ cell, a bone cell, skin cell, you know, all the cells, muscles, connective tissues, all of that is made up of the cellular body. And so this, you know, this technology is really designed to really help us heal on a cellular basis. Next slide, please. We started off with this abundance of stem cells. We came into the world with an abundance of them. And for the most part, you know, as babies, we were able to heal almost immediately because we had so many active stem cells in the body. And as we start getting older, our stem cell production starts to slow down. And this is where the problems come in. This is where the health problems begin, because the body's ability to heal itself starts to slow down with stem cell production and stem cell activation. So as stem cells start to slow down, the healing process starts to slow down, and then degenerative diseases start to increase. And so we find that, when we were children and we skinned our knees, a couple of days later, we had a scab, and then the scab fell off the next day, and, we were all healed. And, as you get older, that same fall ends up being a hip replacement or knee replacement or a cane or a wheelchair or something like that, because the body doesn't bounce back and heal so quickly. So at age 60, we have lost like 60 to 80% of our stem cells and our ability to repair damaged tissue and make new stem cells. So this is huge. This is really the root of a lot of the problems that our bodies are experiencing when it comes to the ability to be able to regenerate itself. And by age 70, we have typically hardly any stem cells left at all. Next slide, please. So, there is a solution to the problem, right? The solution is we need more stem cells. We need to make more stem cells, and we need to keep our stem cell production up. We need to increase that stem cell production so our bodies can naturally heal itself. This is actually the future of regenerative medicine. This is the direction that science is moving towards. This is the direction that medicine is moving towards, but we're not quite there yet in terms of the mainstream, medical system. Right now, stem cell injections are what is available for most people, and actually it's not really available to most people because the problem with stem cell injections are kind of numerous. First of all, they're extraordinarily expensive, and insurance doesn't cover them. Most people cannot afford stem cell injections, and there are risks to stem cell injections. Where are the stem cells coming from? Are they coming from, a donor, or are the stem cells being accessed through bone marrow, which is very risky and painful. It does not always produce, once you do stem cell injections, it doesn't always produce the outcome that people want after all of that investment of time and sometimes, the discomforts of going through that kind of a treatment, it may not work. And also, advanced stem cell treatments are not approved everywhere. So it's not available everywhere you go. Next slide, please. So this LifeWave technology is unlike anything that's available. And the beauty of this technology is that, I need a patch. You got one? The beauty of this technology is that we're using light to stimulate our body's own stem cells. We're not using injections. We're not putting stem cells on a patch. We're not accessing stem cells from any place except from your own body. So what we're doing is we're stimulating the body's own ability to start producing stem cells again. And how do we do that? It's really amazing. Like you saw that video about light therapy, and light is intelligence. It's divine intelligence. I like to say, because information travels on light. And so we know this because we've used in science and technology, light is used in all kinds of ways to carry information. That's how computers work, and that's how lasers work, and so many other kinds of treatments. So we also know that when we're out in the sun, the intelligence of light technology stimulates our bodies to make vitamin D. The sun's not sending us vitamin D. Our bodies naturally make vitamin D but the light from the sun activates the body and turns the body's ability to make vitamin D on. There are other functions that light technology turns on. And one of these is a master peptide called GHK copper peptide. And I think we can go to another slide, please. So GHK copper peptide is a master peptide that was discovered back in the 70s by a scientist and researcher named Dr. Laurent Picard. And he discovered that the body naturally makes this master peptide, and that this peptide is so extraordinary that it actually turns on genes that are beneficial to the body that are responsible for turning on, or actually these genes are responsible for activating things in the body, turning back the hands of time, so to speak. The body, where the body is aging, the body starts to express younger and healthier gene expression because of this master peptide. It's like it's a master modulator. It turns on what the body needs, turns off what the body doesn't need. It's also responsible for turning on the body's ability to increase its own stem cell production. And it activates old stem cells, and they start to behave like younger stem cells. So we start to see extraordinary results when we wear these little patches. So what GHK copper peptide does is it regulates 1/3 of the human genes to a younger and healthier state. This is extraordinary. If you look up GHK copper peptide on PubMed, there's a lot of research about it. And if you look up GHK copper peptide as a product, you'll find a lot of skincare serums, but you won't find anything that turns on GHK copper peptide in the body, except for this. This is it. So it elevates copper peptide in our bodies within 24 hours of wearing the patches. And it causes stem cells to activate. This little patch. Next slide, please. So how does this work? This little patch has in the center, this is a form of nanotechnology. It uses crystal technology to really activate this, well, let's see, let me back up. It uses crystal technology to send a wave of frequency that activates GHK copper peptide in the body. So it's using light waves, light frequencies. And the way it's activated, these little crystals, nanocrystals, are activated is by the body's own light source in the form of heat. So the body gives off light in the form of heat, in the form of low infrared light, and even UV light. And so when we put these little patches on our skin, our body's own heat activates the patches, which send a wave of light, like that video was talking about, back into the skin. And that activates GHK copper peptide production in the body. And when we start to elevate that peptide, then guess what happens? The body starts to turn on stem cell production. And so when you start wearing these patches, over time, you start to really notice extraordinary things happening in the body. It's extraordinary science, and it actually is amazing what happens when you wear them. Improved memory is one of the great benefits. And who doesn't need improved memory? Especially as the older we get, right? We start to lose brain cells. Well, I don't think we lose brain cells, but they say we lose brain cells and that you can never get them back. Well, don't believe everything that you hear. Improved memory. This is science-backed. We know for a fact that, people start to wear the patches over a period of time. Their mental clarity increases dramatically. Improved sleep. Sleep is crucial to healing. If you're not sleeping well, and if you're not getting an abundance of sleep, well-rested sleep, then, the body is not able to heal properly, because when you sleep, that's when your body heals. So sleep is crucial to health and healing. Energy and vitality. Energy is definitely, when you have a lot of energy, you're healthy, you feel good, right? That you can move through life, and you feel happy. And when you have vitality, when you don't have energy and vitality, you feel like you're really slowing down, right? And so energy and vitality is a sign of youthfulness. It's a sign that the body is regenerating. The body is starting to turn back the hands of time. You're starting to feel like you felt 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago in your youth. Reduction in inflammation. Inflammation is at the root of a lot of diseases. So reduction of inflammation is very important. Reduction in pain. Pain is and inflammation go hand in hand. Increased collagen production. So this is really, really interesting, because there are a lot of studies on all of these. These are all backed by clinical trials. The increased collagen production has not only benefits the skin, because as we start to get older, we start to lose collagen and elastin. That's the skin's brick and mortar. And then we start to look older, because guess what? The skin starts to lose its tone, its firmness, and that starts to change as you start to increase collagen production in the body. So it's a natural form of anti-aging in the skin. But that collagen production is also important for wound healing. Very important, because collagen is the most abundant protein in the body. So when the wound, when we start to wear the X39, there's a lot of amazing pictures of people with some pretty serious wounds, and then the healing process speeds up dramatically. Detoxification. These patches are definitely detoxifying, because when you turn on stem cell production, the stem cells are going to eliminate anything in the body that is a toxin, because toxins are part of the problem. Free radicals, those are destructive in the body, and really help to accelerate aging process. So we see a lot of detoxification, and sometimes, you'll maybe experience some of those detox benefits, what we call benefits. They may not feel that great when you start to wear the patches, but if you have a lot of toxins in your body, you might experience a detox symptom. But we call that a healing crisis. Your body's getting rid of toxins, and that's a great thing. And then exercise, stamina, muscle recovery. The more you exercise on these patches, the more you start to really get the benefit of that exercise. Muscles recover faster. You have increase in energy and stamina. So next slide, please. This is, I saw this and I wanted to share this because I thought it was a really dramatic example. This lady wore the X39 patch for about 6 months. And you can see the before and after, which is pretty dramatic. You can see more energy and vitality in her face after compared to the before. She looks tired, she looks exhausted, she looks depleted.
Go.
And
Get out of here.
and you can even see in her eyes, she's got more clarity, her eyes are clear and bright. Her skin is lifted, she looks happy. And this is something that's very common. with people that wear these patches. Okay, next slide, please. And it's safe for pets. You can use these patches on your pets. Actually, we have a patch that was designed for horses, to get horses out of pain. But a lot of us have used the patches on our little beloved four-leggeds because we want them to be healthy and full of vitality too. So that's pretty much how this technology works. Rapid pain relief, reduced inflammation, supports wound healing, energy and vitality, mental clarity, enhanced sports performance, faster recovery from exercise, and improved skin appearance. Those are just backed by studies. But then when you start to hear the testimonials, you realize that it's way beyond that people experience so much more that far exceeds our clinical trials and clinical studies. So let's hear from some of those amazing testimonials. We're going to start with one of a gentleman who's actually on virtual, Horace Bush, who has a pretty amazing testimonial to share. So let's go to Horace. Sure.
Good morning. Thank you, Leumeria. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Hey.
Thank you, Leumeria. Okay. Just want to make sure you can hear me now.
We can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Well, the thing I wanted to share was I started using the patch. It's been almost a year, July of last year. I was just getting out of the hospital because I found out that I was in the hospital for 6 weeks from April into middle of May. Found out I had renal failure as well as congestive heart and congestive lung issues as well. And I was at a point where I couldn't even lift my head off the bed and was recovering from that. And as I said, I was discharged in May. I was introduced to the patches around June or July of last year, started using it around July. And one of the things I first noticed was that I had more increased energy and able to actually lift myself out of the bed, like when I get up in the morning, because I wasn't able to do that. And so, and started to have more and more energy that way and recovering faster. And then one of the things that was really significant was I was having issues with my right foot. And at the time, I didn't realize how serious it was until I went to the doctor and found out that I was diagnosed with osteomyelitis, which is just a fancy way of saying that infection has penetrated the bone. And usually when that happens, in many cases, the only solution that they give when it's gotten to that level is to amputate. And I didn't want to do that because I already had that happen with my left leg. And so with using the patches and also being concerned about diet and other things as well, I was very consistent with making sure I stayed patched up. And I went back to the doctor it was about a month later, to have the ultrasound done on my foot. And the doctor came back with a big smile on his face and says, there is no osteomyelitis there. And to basically understand the significance of that is that rarely reverses. That rarely, if ever, in most cases, with traditional way of thinking, rarely reverses. But it was totally gone and have not come back since then. I am free of osteomyelitis in my foot. So I didn't have to worry about that getting amputated. And so also, because of what happened with the renal failure, I was placed on dialysis, which I'm on right now. But one of the things that has been consistent over the past few months is that all my all my lab work, because they do labs every month on me, have been excellent. So that's been improving. And my goal is I plan to be dialysis free, because they don't believe that, but I believe it because I reversed the diabetes. And now I'm looking at reversing all the damage that was done from the diabetes. But the diabetes itself is now reversed. And if any of you know anything about the numbers, like the A1C numbers, my A1C when I was first diagnosed around '09 was a 15. And now my A1C has been consistently 5.7, which is normal.
Wow. Wow, Horace. That is amazing. And I'm so inspired by your testimony. I mean, you're an inspiration to a lot of people because you're right. You know, this system, you know, is designed to just keep you on the dialysis forever. And you are the testament that, you know, that is not going to be the case, that you are going to that you're taking charge of your health. And that's an amazing testimonial. And we're all, you know, always inspired by your story. After 1 year on X39. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Horace. Okay. So next, we have Richard Lloyd Roberts. Hey, Richard.
Thank you.
Oh, just hit the
Testing.
That's it.
I'll just speak loudly. It's good.
What's on?
Oh, there it is. I'll be really loud. Hi, so I'm Richard. I've been on the patches for about 3 months. I can testify that although that list of things is happening to me, but let's have some fun. So I haven't seen a friend of mine for about 2 years. And I met him the other day in the dog's pet store, and he's like, "Oh my God, you've lost so much weight and you look so young." So tomorrow I will be 60.
Yay, Richard.
So that was a nice one. I work a lot on a computer, so I'm always sitting at home. Your arms are out like this, and my shoulders had started to freeze up. So I've been using the LifeWave patches, which has completely stopped that. So that's really nice. And last weekend, I started doing some garden work with my wife and moved 2 tons of soil on my own.
Whoa.
Which isn't bad at 60-year-old, is it? So that's my testimony. These things really work. I am feeling younger. My mind is sharper. I'm just feeling healthier in general. So that's what I got.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. Energy and vitality, strength. So, okay, let's go to Rosedale. Hey, Rosedale.
Hey, Leumeria and everybody else. I already have a big mouth, but I'm going to speak. But I had to have some notes because, hey there. But there have been so many fabulous things that I have experienced. I've been blessed with a pinched nerve that caused my whole side of my neck to freeze for 1 whole week. Now, I call it blessed because I had that day when it first happened, I said, "Ow," and I could not move anything over here. And this is way before I had known anything about LifeWave. So that day I called in my meeting because I couldn't make it to that particular meeting that day because I was in so much pain. My doctor knows I don't like medication because when I take pain, I start throwing up, I can't deal with it. So I said, well, we'll work with it. Now, how many of you work with pain? No, you got pain, but you said I can deal with it, right? Well, that's what I had to do for that 1 week. But the blessing is I met Jen over there. Jen Dublé. And so let me tell you how I met her. She was just briefly talking about what she does. And I stopped and said, what is that? So she was telling me, I said, oh, okay. Had I not had that pain, it would have went over my head. But when she put that on my neck and said, count to 10, I said, 1, 2, I am moving my shoulder. So I always tell people, hit it and move. Once you put it on, move, right? So then I want to tell you something else. Then I started growing and everything. So I started telling myself to wear the X39. So as I wore the X39, one morning, I think a week later, I woke up and I started looking around my bedroom when I woke up, and I saw how beautiful everything was lit up. It was so clear. My eyesight had improved. Okay, that's step one that I said, okay, we don't stop these patches in my mind. We don't stop them. Now I'm thinking about how many more people I could tell this to, right? Because I was starting to really see it. Then I saw that I went to the doctor. I got a CP panel done. I had a problem with my red blood cells, my white blood cells, and they were never raising. One morning, when I went there, the doctor she said to me, and I said, really? But I never tell them what I'm doing because they poo-poo it. So I didn't say anything. She said, do you know that you're no longer anemic and your white blood cells have really climbed? Guess what else happened? My cholesterol level, bam. Yeah. Guess what else happened? My blood pressure, the level of it is now something about 120/80. Ha-ha. And sometimes maybe 121, but never 130 like it used to be. So I started saying, yeah, well, you know, they say I should take it for 6 months because I'm 68, Richard. I said, well, they said, well, maybe you should take it for another 6 months. I said, you know what? If I make it to be 90, I will still be wearing patches. You know, because all I want to do is continue to let these stem cells grow and come back to me, because I feel. Now, I want to tell you about the stamina. There's another patch that I wear that when I'm out there doing my workout, I work out all the time. When I'm in it, I can move. When I'm finished, I feel so at ease. When I'm done, you know how it takes a while for you to come back? Well, not me. It comes down. I say, heart rate, come down. I just try to calm it down, bring it down, and it really, really feels good. So I'm telling you something. I don't think I'm going to stop wearing these. Eyesight, the doctor told me about the red blood cells, the cholesterol. I had to tell you so I had to remember. And then some mornings, most mornings now, when I wake up, I feel so inspired to do what I need to do every day. I'm excited. I really am. I'm real happy. You know what? I know you probably said, oh my God, but no, if you knew me 20 years ago, you would say, oh, here she comes. Okay. But now I have such a wonderful, vibrant feeling. So guys, that's my testimony, and I'm sticking to it. Okay.
Wow. Wow. 68 years on the planet, 35 years old. Yeah. Wow. All right. Dre, Gilliam. Yeah. Come on up.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, my testimony started about a year ago. I think it was. I started with the patch, right? I got it from you. And my breathing was bad. I had bad breathing. I had asthma when I was young. And what is the COVID had made it worse because I had COVID, so the breathing was bad. So what I did, I said, wow, maybe the patches would work. So I started patching, and voila, my breathing was back to normal. Okay, I was feeling good, and I was very happy with the patch. Now, I got another story in reference to my granddaughter. My granddaughter had an ear problem. She lives in Atlanta. And my granddaughter, she's about 11 years old. And my daughter told me, she says, I don't know what to do, because she's taking her to the doctor. The doctor, they're in a fog. They don't know what's going on with her. So I says, look, put the patch on, see what happens. And in maybe a month, she was fine. You know, she was fine. The patches do work. Okay, that's one thing I can say. And that's my testimonial.
How long did it take for your breathing to clear up?
Breathing probably like about 2 months, something like that. And my breathing came back to normal. And I haven't had a problem with breathing since, you know, and it's been working fine. So now I'm patching regularly. I used to patch every now and then. I'm gonna get some pain. So let me throw some patches on, stuff like that. But now I'm patching regularly because, you know, I'm getting older now. So, you know, I see some gray hairs coming up. So I says, you know what, let me patch regularly now and, you know, keep it moving like her. Okay.
Thank you, Dre. All right, Benta. Come on up here, Benta. Benta's extraordinary. Here you go, my sister.
Thank you. I am so happy to be here and to announce that I am 68 years young. Thank you. I actually retired from teaching art at 60 because of rheumatoid arthritis and fibromyalgia. It was at the place where I had to reserve the school's wheelchair. And literally all of a sudden I would not be able to walk. And so fast forwarding, after I retired, and my rheumatologist and I would fall out on a regular because he was always increasing the medication. I went to infusion treatments. But anyway, after Dolores introduced, and Leumeria introduced me to the patch, which was at least a year ago in spring. I went the first trip to the rheumatologist. He said, "Oh my God, if only all my patients had the blood work that you have. This is incredible," you know. And then I told him about the patches, and he said, "You know, I have other patients who are on the patch." He said, "We're going to reduce medication today." He reduced it the same day. The first and only time I stopped going to him because he refused to reduce the medication before. And I actually think he uses them because he'll come and say, "My youngest patient, you are age reversing." Things that you see on the website. I was like, that's very familiar. But it's been wonderful. Matter of fact, he used to prescribe steroids for me. And I would not take the steroids, but I would collect them like they were gold. I had some I had them in my car. My sister had some, because when I had these incredible flare-ups, I'd end up in the hospital. The year before I started the LifeWave patch, I had 3 emergency room visits. One, they had to call an ambulance for. And so the steroids, you know, the routine, you'd have to take a certain number of steroids. I have not taken a single steroid. I have not had a single fibromyalgia outbreak since I started the patch.
Wow.
Seriously. It's been phenomenal. And I was going to share with you an experience my sister had. Now, this sister is very straightforward. She doesn't believe in anything she didn't grow up hearing about. But anyway, so she's confined to the bed, all kinds of health issues. And she has a nurse who comes in twice a week. So she started on the X39 patch, did not discuss it with the nurse at all. But the nurse would ask her what her pain level was. And she'd say 0, 0, 0, 0. And then all of a sudden, she said, "Oh, my pain level is 6. And then she said, "Oh, I forgot to take my patch." So the nurse is thinking she's taking the pain pill. She says, "I haven't even filled those prescriptions since I've had the patch." Wow. So that's her nurse is her patch reminder. But anyway, it's an incredible product. And I also do energy healing. And a lot of people that I work with who have tried the patch, they remark that they have stabler mood adjustments, are happier. And don't get started on hair growth thing now. Okay? But anyway, that concludes my presentation.
Wow. Oh man, these are amazing testimonials. Really amazing. So the next person that I'm calling up is going to be talking about, everybody's giving testimonials about physical transformation, but it doesn't stop there. It doesn't stop there. So Dolores, come on up and talk about the miracles and
Thank you.
the emotional transformation.
It is miraculous. And I believe in miracles. I experience miracles. And I facilitate miracles. I do. I mean, it may sound very strange, but I've really been blessed with being able to witness miraculous changes in people that I've known a long time, people that I've just met. And so the whole time I've been there, I don't know if you saw me, I was sort of hopping around in the seat because I'm like, when is she going to stop saying extraordinary and amazing and say, it is miraculous. If you've heard all these people who came before me. I want to share something different. Benta went all the way to the back. So Benta is not only a lovely friend of mine and a real confidant of mine, but I was jealous of her because I signed her up, half an hour or so after I signed up last year. And I do remember that it was April 1st. And not only did her patches come before mine arrived, and she called me and said, I've got 40% more energy today. What? Well, fortunately, I've really not had much in the way of pain. And so I don't have one of those stories. But I tell you what I do have. I live with my 93-year-old mom. And we really have not been the best of friends through my 75, next month, 76 year, okay? So things started changing in our household. The dynamics have changed. And we have a different relationship after all of these years. And I only noticed last week when our banner over there came, the second thing on there, well, the first thing is better sleep. And most people, that's what they get, right? But you notice the second thing says more joy. And that was what I noticed after about 3 days. I don't know why I focused on those people who had pain and their pain went, because I tell you, joy is better than that anytime to me, right? And so, my mom even started coming on some of the Zoom calls. I don't want to take too long, but I really do want to hit on a couple of things. So I didn't notice anything about hair growth either until my granddaughter came home. And I've been maybe using the patch about 8 months then. You guys can look at this later so that you can see it. But at the top here, I had these patches, even though I had long hair. And I'd cut my hair, but I had not noticed anything happened here. Well, from these nice little clear skin pictures, that's what I'm gonna call them, clear skin pictures, to look at this one. I didn't even know it looked like that until she started playing in my hair and she took a picture of it, right? The other thing is, this is my mother. And on this side, when you all have a chance to look at it, you'll see my mother was always a beautiful woman anyway. but she's so excited now because even more people are commenting on what she looks like well, she'll be 94 before the end of this year. And I took this picture in the doctor's office when I took her for a checkup. And she's actually smiling. I mean, can you say? And she does, yeah, she does have a great sense of humor. That is one thing that we share. But she never smiled. I actually wish I had put another picture on here because what I used to tell her is what she did was grimace. Anybody know anybody like that when they take a picture and they think they're smiling and it really is a grimace? That was what she used to do. Now, before I go, I have to mention there are 4 generations of us alive now. In my family, we do stick around, most of us, right? But I have my own story to share. My mom started using the patch a month after I did, and I've shared a little bit about her. But guess what? I have a daughter who lives in England. She is, how old is she? She's going to be 42 this year. And she had a diagnosis a few years ago of MS. She was going to come on Zoom today and give you her testimony because another month or so after I started this, she started using it. And they had just arrived in London and she was having a hard time walking around on those cobblestone streets, right? Well, she's not with us today by Zoom because she's at work. And she has not had a flare up or any of that going on she started in May last year and we're in June now. She has not had a flare up, not one. And she said initially she couldn't sleep. She'd be awake sometimes 6 times in a night, going to the restroom and all of that. She's been sleeping well. She looks great. She feels great. She's said to me to say to you all today that she's just doing so well and she's so great. She's so happy about it. Okay, so now she has a 24-year-old daughter who's here with me. And my 24-year-old granddaughter had problems with her teeth and real pain. The dentists have told her it's going to cost her thousands of dollars to get that done. She's just graduated from college, but she happened to be at my house one day and she was really in pain. And I said, you know what? Let me give you one of these patches and I want you to just stick it, just put it on your jaw as close as you can to your tooth that's giving you a problem. Now, I have to share with you, this child of mine, I don't know how we got her, but she's an engineer and she doesn't believe in any of this stuff. But she was in so much pain, like you said, pain will move us. It'll get our attention. It was only a couple of hours later that pain, teeth were not bothering her anymore like that. And she's even thinking about with her engineering left brain self that she's going to start on the patches because I've suggested her, maybe you won't need all of that work on your teeth if you start doing this. So she's used it every once in a while. Those of you who know me, you know I actually like to talk and that I have a lot to talk about, but I'm going to be quiet now, except to go back and say to you, I don't have a big deal about how long I stay on this planet, but I do want to have a quality existence while I'm here. And I like joy and I like fun. And, oh yeah, one other thing. So I'm not married, but I have an incredibly blessed relationship. And everything works for everybody in my household. I like to say sometimes, I'm gonna say it anyway. I always say it. So I'm gonna say it anyway. But I'm 75 and juicy.
You leaving it at that? Hey, that's what energy and vitality is all about too. Yes. So, okay, now there you have it. You have some amazing testimonials. And what we want to do now is we want to reserve some time to talk about a preferred customer program that we have. Oh, sure. Absolutely. I was just going to say, we're going to reserve some time for Q&A, but I can see you all are chomping at the bits to ask questions. So let's go into the questions, and then we'll go into the preferred customer program and how that works and how you can get these patches. Sure. You want to? Okay.
And we want to hear you if you don't mind.
Well, I had, Dolores gave me the wonderful opportunity to take the patch. She gave me a couple of them, and I took them for 2 days. And they scared the living bejesus out of me. After I took the 2 days, and then I stopped taking them because I didn't have any more. And when I had cancer, I know where you can get some. Yeah, when I had cancer, if anyone's ever taken chemotherapy, you're okay when you first take it, and then a couple of days later, you get very, very sick. And what happened was, when I took the 2 patches she gave me, and then I stopped taking them, I started having a similar type of withdrawal. And I was wondering, my question to you is, if you take these patches for 6 months, a year, what if you stop taking them from the dependency, then what?
Okay, good question. Really good question. So thanks. You can hold on to that, Jen. Somebody else will have a question. So what happens when you stop? Right? That's what you're asking. You start on the patches and you start getting benefits, and then you decide that you don't want to do it anymore, and you stop. So what was, okay. Okay. Let me ask you a question. You said that you had cancer and you had been on chemotherapy. Is that what you 2018? Okay. And when did you stop with your chemotherapy?
Probably about March of 20.
Okay. So one thing that I mentioned that we know for sure is that the patches will detox, the stem cells detoxify the body, and chemo is a toxin. It's a toxin to the body. It's not natural to the body at all. It's a chemical, and once it's in the body, like anything that is a toxin, your body wants to get rid of toxins. Your body is, when you start to patch, your body wants optimal health and vitality. It would, like what Dolores was saying, it wants more joy. And in order to hold a vibration of more joy, you have to have a high state of health. And that is what's natural to the body. So the body wants to achieve that high state of health. So it's going to start getting rid of whatever is in the body that is a toxin. And guess what happens when the body starts to detoxify? It's pushing all those toxins out of the cells. And it doesn't feel too good. Feels bad. Yeah, it's pushing all that poison out, because it's got to expel it from the body in order for you to have the level of health and vitality that you really want for yourself, that is divinely, your right to have. So what happens when you stop taking them? Then, the body doesn't have the stem cells that it needs to continue that process of health and vitality. Remember how I was saying that the older you get, the stem cells start to decline dramatically? We saw it up on the board, up on the PowerPoint, that what the numbers are, and we hit our 60s. I'll be 65 this year, and next month, July 13th. Who wants to look and feel 65 when we can be our optimum self, right? We've gotten programmed to believing that we're supposed to accept aging, as a natural process. And with that idea of aging comes this image of things breaking down. Aging is one thing, but breaking down is a whole other level of experience. We can live longer and still be at a level of optimum health. And so who wants that, right? And who's willing to invest in your health to get that? To invest in your health with these patches is to keep activating your body's stem cells. It's just like a lot of things that you do every day out of habit because it's good for your body, like brushing your teeth and bathing and things that we have to do to take care of the health of our body. If we stop doing them, right, what happens? It's the same thing. We know that if we take certain kind of supplements, it's really good for the body. We can increase our vitamin C, which is antioxidants that our bodies really need, because we don't get enough of it from food. We need sunshine. What happens if we stop going out and getting some of that, on a regular basis? Our vitamin D levels drop, and then, health starts to decline. Brain cells start to decline. So there's a lot of things that we can do, we can decide to do, to really activate the highest level, the highest expression of health in this lifetime. We can choose that, or we can choose to stop. But you should remind yourself, if you're in fear of something, that you have control over, that if you stop doing something, there's a lot of things that we can stop doing, that that we can choose to stop doing, that will affect our health. For me, I've been on these patches for 2 years, a little over 2 years now, and I'm in it for the long haul, because I can see where I was, after my first 12 months was extraordinary. And now I'm in my second 12-month period. And I know that the longer I activate these stem cells and I increase these stem cells, and I have more of an abundance of these stem cells, then I can see from year to year the progression. And that is something that I invite you all to experience. That 1 year mark. Wow. I mean, you talk about being on it for a few months and getting off, but once you have activated your stem cells for 12 months, and that's a cycle, that's a very important cycle that's measurable, what happens, with age reversal.
So there are no negative side.
There are no side effects. The only side effect is better health, but that's not really a side effect. But, there is a detox symptom, which we call a healing, they call it a healing crisis sometimes, because while you're on the path to getting better, sometimes you feel a little worse because you've got some stuff that's going on in the body that's been there for a really long time. And now your body's getting rid of it. Your body's shifting and changing and getting rid of things that are not good for it. Your body's bringing balance and harmony back into it. Some people never really quite had that. And so, you know, you start experiencing that and it feels strange because it's something new. Does that help? Yes, ma'am. Miss Betty, right? D-Ray.
How many, I know there's different types of patches. So how many do you recommend, or how do we know what we need to focus on? And how many are you on?
Okay, that's a good question. So, did you get a chance to see the phototherapy film? And, you know, they showed all these different patches that the company makes. And I think that was made before the X39 and the X49 came out. So it was all those patches. And then now we have the X39 patch, which is the stem cell activation patch. That is our general wellness patch. That is the patch that we recommend for everybody because it is the only patch that activates stem cells. It's the only patch that can do that. It's the only patch that activates GHK copper peptide, which regulates that process of increasing stem cells. So those stem cells go everywhere and they work on everything. And all the other patches support X39. That's that stem cell patch, X39. We have another patch called X49, and the X49 activates another copper peptide called AHK copper peptide. And that's a bit more specific. It is great for the cardiovascular system. So it strengthens the cardiovascular system. It's great for, we know if you look up AHK copper peptide on PubMed, it will tell you that it is the body's own natural minoxidil. So it's a hair growth peptide. So we don't really make claims about that because we haven't done any clinical studies on that, but that's what AHK copper peptide is known for. And Dolores.
And I was not using 49.
Yeah.
Because I was going to ask what made her juicy.
X39. X39, because X39 increases energy. That's sexual energy too, you know? Sexual energy is the energy that creates, you know, life. It's important. It's the energy that flows through our bodies. It's how we all got here. It's the life force energy. So, you know, activating energy is so, so, so important. And that's X39. That's my patch of choice. That's what I wear all the time. We have the LifeWave, which we are going to, anyone who wants to experience the LifeWave, who is experiencing any kind of pain, will have Rosedale is going to patch you on LifeWave and help you to get some pain relief. There is we have a sleep patch. We have a skincare patch, the Alavita, which is also a pineal gland activator, especially if you put it on the third eye point at nighttime when you go to bed. It increases dreams dramatically. I can say that for sure. Energy enhancer. What? The Alavita patch. Yeah. That's my experience, and a lot of other people that I know that have used that patch. Yeah. Oh yeah. Vivid. My experience was vivid because I wasn't really remembering dreams on a regular basis. So I was having more vivid vivid dreams, great dreams. Yeah. I mean, colorful and long lasting. Like I'd wake up and remember all the details of the dreams. So I've heard a lot of people say that about that patch. And then we have the Nirvana patch, which I think we're going to be limiting that. Energy enhancer. We have glutathione patch, which is the body's most abundant antioxidant. That's a really important patch. I wear the glutathione patch. I keep in my arsenal all the time because you know, it helps to protect it. It boosts your immune system. So glutathione is really important. The Aeon patch.
That was one of the first things that I learned about. If you're on YouTube, Suzanne Summers had breast cancer about 12 years ago, so well before X39. And she did not wish to take chemo or any of that. But she used the
Glutathione.
and that's what she talks about on YouTube of her experience of LifeWave. So
Powerful.
yeah, it is for anybody who has inflammation.
Yeah. And the Aeon patch is the stress and inflammation patch also. That's another very powerful patch. It's one of the.
And I would have glutathione. I wore it. I didn't need it anymore for my hands because they used to be stiff.
Ah.
So glutathione is the detox, you know. And
Come on up. You two come up and help answer some questions. Come on. Come on up. Come on up, Jen. This is my team, by the way. These extraordinary women, goddesses. And they have a lot of experience being on these patches. So let's
any other questions?
yes.
Wow, this is most interesting. I've had every stem cell you can imagine. Everything from going to Mexico and getting the embryo of sheep that were made in Switzerland just for that. And I'm a great believer in stem cells. I believe it's the way of the future. But even bone marrow, whatever, has not worked for me. But this attracts me. The philosophy behind this. I want to say that. What I wanted to bring up, maybe I'm throwing some into it, but one thing we've learned in the last 20 years is we don't age by years. We all talk, I'm 77. You know, we're all glad we're 68, we're 77, but that's not what ages you, years. It's an enzyme called telomerase or telomeres. And that's what I was waiting to see if there's anything here, because that's what I'm interested in, is to stop the chipping off of my telomeres that ages me. So we have to think of aging and anti-aging totally different than the way we thought. We're not aging by the years. The body is made to live as long as you need it to live. It's this idea of epigenetics has changed everything. So I just wanted to throw that in there because that's something that fascinates me that I think is very important.
That's perfect because we have a carnosine patch. And who wants to talk about? You want to talk about carnosine?
I'll talk about carnosine.
Yeah.
Talk about carnosine.
I like when he said that. I was like, oh my God, I love it. See, I like to keep it simple, but yes, that's one thing about the carnosine. It works with our nervous system and our organs, and the telomeres really work in theirs too. As a matter of fact, in our liver is where most of it is stored. So I study these things too, because I'm a person who loves the body and who they would know. I'm always talking about the body and they always listen it. And it's really, really important that we really actually take that time to really do that. But telomeres are definitely within our carnosine and it's generated in our liver. And I got that part from David Schmidt. So watching some of his videos on LifeWave, on YouTube, you will definitely get a lot of information on that and get, and really understand more about what you're doing and what the patches are offering.
Do you remember what the third thing on the anti-aging has? Carnosine, Eon is. the third
And
one,
Eon is the one I wear
glutathione.
on my shoulder at night.
Right.
Right.
So there, occasionally you can get a kit, if you will, that work together. And that particular one has what you were just talking about, the telomeres and.
It's also good for short and long-term memory. Yeah, the carnosine.
Yeah, so the carnosine is something that the body naturally makes also, but declines with age. What I do is I use the carnosine patch, and I also take carnosine as a supplement because that helps to protect the telomeres. Yeah. So, yeah. So David Schmidt was, certainly right, on, and he's the, we didn't really talk about him. He's a very important.
He's the man that invented this.
He's the CEO and an inventor. He's CEO of LifeWave and the inventor of this technology. And he also says that he received this technology as a download. So a lot of times he doesn't see himself as inventing this technology, but receiving this is a divine download that, comes from source. Mm-hmm.
I love when he says all the time that me and God created these, because whatever is in our body already is what we need to bring up. And that's all we're doing. We don't put medication in us. It's not anything that's going into our bodies. It's just a reflection of the crystals that are coming off from there and the light that we already automatically have in our bodies.
Yeah. And I've been thinking about him this week because the first patch that he ever made was for the US Navy. They asked him to make something that would support the sailors that were going on these long submarine journeys. And so
Energy enhancer.
And that's where he started from.
Yeah, brilliant Tesla type of.
One other thing I'd like to add about the carnosine, it's bioelectrical, that it's targeting, and what that did for me in my experience was I lost my taste for 19 months after COVID, and I was on carnosine less than a week and it came back, and I bit into a strawberry and went, oh, I started crying when it came back. So that's one of my favorite ones. And I guess I don't like speaking in front of everyone, so I'll make mine really short, my experience. Within the first 3 or 4 days, I was able to breathe. I have a lot of allergies and I've always had just some sinus issues and whatnot. Is this what it's like to not be a mouth breather? I could actually breathe through my nose for the first time within that first week. And then after a month, I didn't really know what I was getting into when I first came about with the patches. I just knew I was guided to it and it felt right. And I was like, okay, just patch me up and let's just see what happens. So I had severe endometriosis. I could not get out of bed. I was in a fetal position, had very, very specific medication to get through that. Within a month is gone, and now I'm only on month 4, and I have not had any issues whatsoever with cramps. So that was just my specific experiences, and then I've had my dad after 3 days on the patch. He looked at me and said that he could feel his feet for the first time in a year.
Wow.
Like, okay, that sounds like something that we need to talk about. But
Wow.
I spoke with him yesterday. Still feeling better and better every day with that. He's lost by 50 pounds. My stepdad has had psoriasis for 30 years, and I saw him for the first time just about a week and a half ago. And he started roughly February, and there's a hard you can hardly see anything, and it's all over his feet, legs, arms, hands. And then my aunt, so she's had both knee surgery, back and neck surgery, and she has actually called me after the 3rd week. She's not in pain. She's like, I just kind of succumbed to the fact that I was going to be in pain the rest of my life. And so, 3rd week, she was a little hesitant at first. She's like, I don't want to do any kind of signing up and have to worry about, an auto shift. And I was like, that's fine. So she did, but after 3rd week, she's like, where do I sign up and what else do I need?
I love her story. I just gotta tell you, I love her story.
Let me just, let's take some questions from the audience though. Who else has questions?
Oh, here.
How many patches are there? How many do you wear at a time? And what's the cost for all of this?
I'm gonna go over the cost, but there are lots of patches. You said, how many do you wear and what is the other one?
How many are there at all?
There are at least 10. And
How many do you wear at a time? Or how do you go?
okay, here's the story. 12 hours on and 12 hours off of a particular patch. Now I am consistently checking in with myself. We're all different in how we do this. Also, I'll explain to you later that you will learn more about the patches if you do a certain thing as far as being a customer, but we'll get to that. But the thing is, if it's just 12 hours on and 12 hours off of your patch, the next day, put it back on, 12 hours on, 12 hours off.
A new patch.
A
Yeah.
new patch. Yes.
And there are 30, there's a month's supply in each one of the sleeves. So that's how they're ordered. And I just want to come in and say again, though, that the X39 is the next to the last patch that was developed. And that, as Leumeria says, is really about stimulating our stem cells so that we get balanced again within ourselves, and that the body knows how to heal. A balanced body knows how to heal. And so that's what we encourage. And, sometimes there will be people who will feel like they need something else. My daughter was a Reiki master when she was 16. In fact, she took the silver method when she was 6 years old. And of course, she came in here knowing a lot. And so intuitively, she said, oh, I'm going to try this, or I'm going to try that. She was doing things that I had not even done. But as I said, she had that diagnosis of MS. So I guess for her, she just felt what she needed to do. And Rosedale mentioned there is something about the preferred customer program that will allow those of you who choose that particular one to be sent a
She's going to go over that whole program.
Sure.
Yeah, but one thing that I want to answer your question on in terms of how many patches, all of the patches support X39. You can wear all of those patches if you want. You could put them on your body all at the same time, but it would be a lot of patches for you to wear. And in the beginning, it would be very difficult maybe for you to tell which patch is doing what. So we encourage you to start with the X39. And then Rosedale's going to explain the preferred customer program where you get a chance to explore some of the other patches. But some patches you may want to wear at nighttime and other patches in the daytime. The X39 is very activating energetically. So for most people, you wouldn't want to wear it at nighttime because you might be up cleaning your house all night long, or doing other things. So you want to wear that during the daytime, right? So, and so you want to pay attention to how the patches are, working with your energy so that you can, there's no right or wrong way. You can put that patch on at 8 o'clock in the morning, or if depending on what your schedule is, put it on at from 3 to 3, but you want to get the optimum use when your energy is at its highest. And then, we've got certain patches that are good to wear at nighttime because it's going to help relax you and de-stress you and that sort of thing.
What I want to know, is there one that will send somebody to clean our house?
This lady got a question.
Where on the body do you normally wear these patches?
Good question.
Anywhere.
Take that one.
Anywhere. I have one here, and I have the X49 over my heart. So anywhere. And you can wear it there too.
But typically, we try to put on the C7, which is here, or 2 finger weights beneath the belly button, and that's primarily focused on because it's the governing meridian. And that's gonna really, any place on the body it will work, but that's just our recommended location from David.
Yeah. More questions? Okay. All right. So Rosedale is going to go over the preferred customer program. So that will answer your question about cost and how to order and what kind of options that you have. Okay, so we've got a slide for that, Michael.
So we have, as far as the customers, a retail customer, we have a preferred customer, and we have a preferred plus customer. Now, the preferred retail is for anyone who, everyone has their own choices. Okay, so that retail is pretty good. But you also have the preferred customer, which means that when every single month, if you auto ship, you end up having, you get it on wholesale prices. When you have the PC Plus, you getting actually samples every single month that comes with your auto ship. But that's not being paid for. Those are extra samples. That's how you find out about the other patches. So, and also, every time you refer 3 people as a preferred plus customer, you end up having to, you get to receive benefits for that as well. There's a lot of great benefits and things you can get for free when you do things like that. You could become a preferred customer who refers people. So that's another part of it as well. The X39 patch that goes for $149 and as the retail price, the other patches are going for $69 a month. Everything is a 1 month except for the LifeWave, which requires, this is the pain I'm going to show people who are interested in. This is the pain pill, the pain patch. And the pain patch actually is the one that's only $69, right? So that one is, but for 1 month, you don't really need them always. It's 30 patches, but it's 15 treatments in that one. The energy enhancer is 30 patches, but 15 treatments in that one. So I just want to tell you about, can I tell them about the energy enhancer, what happened last night? Oh, no. Okay. Okay. All right. Anything else? Any other questions? Okay, so are we doing
15 treatments?
15 treatments
Oh,
in the
I thought it was
LifeWave.
30.
No, it's 30 patches. 50, you need 2 patches per treatment
Yeah.
on the LifeWave and the energy enhancer. 2 patches per treatment.
Yeah, there's a brown patch and a white patch.
With a brown patch and a white patch.
And maybe you'll find out more about that when you come over to that station. Okay.
There's not, who here could say that they have a little pain they would like to address this morning? Okay, but then you will meet me over here at the pain relief station. Yes.
Okay.
That's you're welcome to come over here. And is this break time or what are we?
So we're going to, we're actually coming up on 12:36. So let's take a little short break. But in the meantime, I'd like to raffle off an X39. So did everybody get a raffle ticket? Anybody did not get a raffle ticket? Okay, that's a keeper.
I'm sorry.
The rest of them? You need it?
Okay, just give it.
Uh-huh. If you need more, they're right here.
Right here.
And then the ones that says keep, the I give give those ones back
Write
to
your
me.
name on it, Cecilia.
So,
Oh, okay. They actually have.
you got the key?
Or you got the key?
Okay, let's see. Here we go, ticket.
Or are you just gonna give those back to her?
We'll swap if they have that number.
If you have your name on the back.
Make
it's-
sure they, yeah,
Ideal.
to swap that number with the
Right.
one that they have.
Now, to get these X39 patches is gonna be a
Oh,
great
yeah.
thing for somebody.
You're gonna give them the.
Okay, everyone. So we're getting ready to give out a free 30-day supply of X39. Is there anybody here who does not want this? Speak up now. Okay, here we go. You got your ticket?
Oh, this is the group. Okay, I got it.
Yeah, just hold on to your ticket. All right, the first one is 285015. 285015. Yay! Here you are, darling. Here's your, yeah. Is that a 15? That's a, is
You got 30 days.
that a 6?
Uh-huh. Yep, that's a 6.
Yeah, that's a 6. 15. Who's got 15? All right. Congratulations. Okay, you got it.
Appreciate that.
All right.
X39. Someone to reverse those.
Okay.
That aging process.
Next one is 285020. 020. All right, congratulations. Okay. So, let's see. I think we have one more. And while we're at it, who needs an order form? Who wants to get started? We have plenty of order forms right here, and you can start to fill this out and have your patches as early as next Wednesday, I think. Would you like, somebody want to pass out the order forms?
Yes.
And I think we have some pens around, so. Okay. And the last one is 285027. All right, congratulations. Here's your 30-day supply. Perfect. Congratulations.
She told me that when she got home, so she felt so calm. That's the one, Linda. That's the one. You put on the back of your neck. Yeah. Yes, that's the one. Huh? Right on it, right? Yeah, because I had it.
Now, as a compliment to all of you guests who are here for and looking to explore the benefits of these patches, how many people would like to take some patches home with you? Okay, good. So I have a health tracker and I have some sample patches for you to try. And I'm going to also include an order form for you. So if you're interested, come on up and hi, how are you? Jennifer. Okay, so here's a health tracker. And this is when you start patching, here's 3 patches for you to get started. And then the health tracker is once you really start patching, you start tracking the changes with the health tracker. Okay, and so there you go. Remember 12 hours on, 12 hours off, drink lots of water. All right. One second, everyone. Can I get everybody's attention? We're going to conclude the Zoom portion because we have a whole community of folks who are hearing everything that's going on. So let's everybody just like say goodbye to them and thank you for joining us so that we can continue with the patching and taking a break and everything. And we'll come back and share some more information about the business building. So I just want to say thank you, everybody who joined us virtually. And we will also have the replay that's available. So please connect with the person who invited you. If you found out about this event from Eventbrite or the Facebook page, feel free to reach out to that Facebook page and whether it was myself or whoever's Facebook page you found out about this event from. And the last thing that I want to say is that we have, which I didn't put the information, we have a Monday night Zoom call that I would like to invite everybody in. It's the same Zoom link that you use to get into this event. It's Monday at 7 p.m. So I invite all of you to join us on Monday at 7 p.m. for our Monday night Zoom call. And we will continue the whole conversation of talking about the benefits of this great technology. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining us virtually. He's just disconnected. Yeah, it's a lot.